G'day, welcome back. I'd especially like to welcome my new subscribers, and I hope you enjoy the content of my channel. If you missed my last video, part 1 of my little 90-degree gearbox attachment for the mill, link up there now. You can go and watch that first, then come back and watch this one. Alrighty, so we got all that casting and everything made in the last one to clamp it to the mill head. So let's head over to the mill now, and we'll make the plate that bolts up onto the bottom of that to carry the Morse taper arbor that's going to drive it all over there. Alrighty, so I've cut a piece of out of that 15mm plate. It's just a little over 70 and a little over 50. Got the middle, all the edges, fly cut both sides, and then give it this treatment. So got to drill and bore 2 holes in the centre here, and then drill and countersink or counter bore 4 holes in here to bolt it up on here with. This has got to take a bearing with a 12mm shaft on the bottom, or a hole in it. So that's what we'll do with this. So give me a few minutes, we'll settle this up and we'll get started. Alrighty, I said it was hot out here the other day. It's even hotter out here today. But anyway, let's get on with this. Right, back in a minute. The way that was jumping around, it's got me wondering if I tighten the bolt up enough that it retains this. Back in a minute. Oh, there's a silly bastard. I didn't tighten it up at all. It was actually loose. It was only like jammed up in there and don't finger tight. I wouldn't want to jump around, but that's an amazing finish for considering. God, I'll have to touch it off again to pull it up that far. Well, that's not up to my usual fly cutting standards, but that's so I can go up against the casting where you can't see it. Forgot to press record for that first pass, but anyway, I'll get that out of there and deburr it and flip it over and do the other side. I think I'll swap that, turn that tip around too. Well, that's a bit better than that last one. So I'll work from this side. I'll deburr all that, but I'm not going to do any more. I'm absolutely cooking out here. So I'm going to head inside where it's a bit cooler and enjoy the iced coffee I bought just before. And tomorrow I'll come out and I'll bore some holes and stuff in here. Alrighty, so I come out a bit early today to try and beat the heat, but it's 20 past 9. It's already 32 degrees. Anyway, so while you weren't looking, I've sanded all this up, deburred it, sanded it up. So I'll get some holes drilled in the bloody thing. Alrighty, so that's those 4 done, except for a chamfer. I'll do that with the bloody cordless drill. Now, I haven't tried this U-drill of mine in the mill yet, so I'm going to turn the camera off and get all this chuck out of here, because I'll need to put the boring head in there shortly. But I'll get that out and put this U-drill in and see how it goes in here. Alrighty, so much for putting the U-drill in there, it won't fit in there, so just won't. Gets about half or some 3/4 of the way in and stops. So I'll do it all with a boring head. Oh well. Alrighty, I think that's just about bang on. Right, sorry about that. I looked up to the camera to say something and realised the bloody thing had turned itself off. Anyway, alright, so get that out of there, deburr it all and see if it'll fit onto the caster, make sure it bolts up properly on that, and we'll move on from there. Next up we'll do something about making the shaft for it. Alrighty, so I got all my bolt holes right, everything fits on there quite nicely. So it's just about bloody lunchtime, so after lunch I'll come out and I'll get started on making the shaft up. It's going to be a bit of stuffing around, because I've got to get where it comes through here. I've got to get the length right from where it sticks out of the spindle to this point here, so that when this is all bolted up, it's it's not pushing it down and it's not trying to pull it up. Anyway, I'll sort that out. Alrighty, as per usual, I've spent a fair bit of time dicking around with this to try and get it right. And I think I can live with what I've got. More than 100th or so over, like half the length of that. Right up near the end it starts to get a bit smaller up there, but it's only a couple of hundredths. So I think I can probably live with that. I know I'll be spending too much more time out here today. It's 37 degrees out here again. Alright, I'll get all that out of there and get a piece of material in and start machining it down. Alrighty, so while you're looking, I face this off. That blue mark there is the length from the other end of this bit of material to there is the length of this Morse tape arbor, which is what I'm going to copy, that particular one. I did something a little silly before and machined that bloody blue mark off I had on there, which was pretty silly of me. What the fuck? That's not right. How can that be right? 68 mil. What is going on there? That can't be right. Oh well, got to machine this down to 12 mil, but I won't bore you with that because it'll take a while. It'll take 11 millimeters off. That's about 23 now. I'm going to get it down to 12 mil, so I won't bore you with that. I'll bring you back a little later when I'm getting closer to it. Alrighty, so that's just a bit over 12 mil now, but as you could probably tell by the colour of the swarf coming off it, this thing, like me, is outrageously hot at the moment, so it's no use trying to get a nice slip fit for a bearing on there. So I think I'm going to call it quits and let both that thing and myself cool down, so we'll get back into it again tomorrow. Alrighty, so after a little bit of messing around this morning, I've got this down to a nice slip fit up there. But I want to put some sort of circlip on it. Now, I don't have a ring clip, but I do have some of these. Now that's a millimetre thick. I don't have a 1mm grooving tool, but I do have a 1.5. So I've touched it off in front of the bearing, and I've moved it forward 0.5 millimetre. So we'll get in here and see if we can't put a groove in this. It says this is a 10mm inside that one, but we'll just check it. 9.8. This is 12. So. Alrighty, so I do get that right. It doesn't want to go in, so let's bring it back a little bit. Yeah, beautiful. Alright, get the chamfer on this. I'm not going to worry too much about this end because I still don't know exactly how long this is, so I'll just put a bit on there with a file. Do that for the time being, because that will fit down inside the gear, because I can't go all the way through it with 12mm, because the inside centre of the gear is only 10mm, so I can't go all the way through it. Well, I can't anyway because there'll be a shaft underneath it. Rightio. For this one. Alright, so I marked this. Look at this. You can tell it's rainy season here. That's gone like that in just a few days. It's just almost an impossibility to keep the rust of stuff here. So that's so I can orientate it back into the same position it was in. Alright, well I'll get that out of there, turn it around, work out how long I'm going to make everything, whether I need to shorten this end up a bit first or whatever, and then I'll come back to you. Alrighty, so at the moment, that's red hot as per usual, because it's stinking hot out here again today. A bit cooler than this, that's only 34 today. That's about 0.2 bigger than the maximum diameter of this thing up here. So it's just about lunchtime. I thought I'd save you some of the boring stuff this morning and not make you sit through all the setup trying to get this thing running through, and all the stuff around I had to do to be able to get the tailstock up in there, because I really did want it in there to do this. But anyway, so I'll let all that cool down, and then after lunch I'll come out and I'll get it down to the right diameter up here. Then I'll have to get rid of all the tailstock, because I have to cut this taper from that side, because I just can't get in here to do it. So unfortunately I wish I could get in this way, but I can't. So I have to cut it without the aid of the tailstock, which is kind of messy sometimes. But anyway, after lunch I'll come back and do all that. Well, that's about typical of the finish I end up with that thing sticking out that far over the back there like that. So we'll have to dress it all up now. Oh God, it's hot out here now. Alrighty, so a bit of ground granite off from the bench tops in our kitchens that I use for doing things like this. Well, that's pretty bloody awful looking, that, but I can't afford to take too much more off that. unfortunately I can't use the sleeve that I normally check these things with because it's too long for this one. If I'd realised it, the same with this, if I'd realised I could have just gone and machined a bit off the end so that I could use it to check it with. This has been cut with a tapered reamer, Morse tapered 2 reamer, but that is disgusting. But it might work alright. Well, I guess about all I can do is get it out of there and try and go and try it in the spindle. Need to tap a thread in there first. I bloody searched high and low for my tap and I couldn't find it, but then I remembered where I store it. So I'll get all this cleaned up, get the tailstock back on, get a thread tapped in there, and we'll go try it in the spindle. Well, as much as I hate to say this, that's a complete cock-up. It's ended up bloody way too small. Way too friggin' small. I don't know how that happened, but anyway. Well, those gears are still not there, so I've got a bit some more material. Looks like I'll make another one, but I won't burden you with that. I'll come back to you when I'm ready to move on again. Alrighty, so I had absolutely no intention of videoing any of this, but I decided I would make this ass about to the way I made the last one. So I just thought I'd show you just what it is I was doing. Anyway, not going to bore you with any more of that, so I'm just going to put a little undercoat on the front here and a little tiny one on the back here, and then I need to part it off, put it in the mill and make sure it fits. Alrighty, so that one's a perfect fit, and I've actually got a bolt in there pulling it right up. Only issue is I'm going to have to get it out and knock 3mm off this face here, because when I slide this up over it, there's a 3mm gap in here. It doesn't go, it needs to go up another 3mm. So I'll do that. That's too freaking hot out here, 37 again. So I'm going to knock it off, and I'll do that tomorrow. Anyway, until tomorrow. Alrighty, so last night I decided I really didn't want to machine 3mm off that, so I very carefully set it back up in the lathe and took another 0.05 cut up the length of it, dressed it back up again, and in the end I only needed to take 1.5mm off. Now I didn't really want to take 1.5 because I thought, well, if I go too much, it'll go up, it'll hit that, and then the tape will never seat properly, so I went 1mm, so I've ended up with about a 0.5mm gap in there, which I think I can live with. While that's set up, I put the circlip groove in there as well, so that's all fitted up in there, the circlip. So that's kind of all good. It looks like it runs pretty well, it doesn't have a lot of run out or anything. So that's pretty groovy. So now I just have to sit back and wait for those gears to get here. They've cleared Thai Customs, and they've been 10 days in transit so far. It was a couple of days before they sent them after I ordered it, so it's about 12 days since I ordered them. And if everything goes to normal, it'll be another 2 to 3 days, so they get you out at around that 2 weeks I've been saying things take to get here. Anyway, so now I have to sit back and put my feet up and wait for those gears to get here, because I can't do much until they do. Alrighty, so those 2 bevel gears showed up here yesterday afternoon, and I need to bore one of them out to fit that shaft, the Morse 2 taper shaft. Now, I'm just, I've got this in there just gripped in some aluminium so I can try and hang on to it. I don't think there's much other way of doing it short of making a sleeve up that would, a split sleeve that would fit around here and clamping it that way. But I just need to bore it out. I can't do it from the other side because, as I mentioned earlier, I measured it, they reckon it's only 10mm in here, and I got to go out to 12. Actually, what is it? Drawing said 10. What is it across there? Oh, actually it's nearly 12. It's nearly 12mm. So, maybe I can turn it around the other way, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I'd rather have had a stop on it, to be honest with you. But perfect opportunity to try out this new alignment tool of mine, because this thing is running out something fierce at the moment. Might have it done up a bit tight. Actually, what I might try is that's a 6mm hole in there. So we need to get this damn compound slide off here. It's a pain in the arse. I just hate having it on there. Truly hate it. in the way now too. Just back that off a bit and retighten it, see what it looks like. That's got it. Alrighty, alright, I'm going to turn this camera off, get rid of this damn compound slide off here, because I hate the friggin' thing, and I'll come back to you. Alrighty, now I've got a more user-friendly tool post on there. We'll drill this out, and then we'll have to bore it out to 12mm to fit that shaft. Jeez, it's going to be a stinker again today. It was 38 degrees out here this afternoon. I'm glad I wasn't doing anything. It's only 9:30 and it's 34 already. Like I said, I think I'm in for a long hot summer. It should be about 11mm now. 10.8. That's about 11.9. Oh Jesus. Alrighty, that'll almost go on there, but I'm going to have to cut a bit off this, and that is, at this end here is about 2 or 3 hundredths bigger than it is down in there. So by the time I cut that off, I think that'll probably fit in there. So I'll leave it at that. I don't want to end it too big. Alrighty, so it has no clamping screws or anything in it, so the next cab off the rank will be get in the mill and put some clamp screws in there. Alrighty, so while I've got this set up for doing that, I think I'll get the other one in there and do it as well. And all I've got left to do then is to shorten this shaft up and then machine 2 flats on it. Alrighty, so while you guys weren't looking, I knocked the end off that in the lathe and just ran a bit of emery over it, and that gets on there good like I thought it would. So now I just need to knock on 2 flats on here, and I think we can consider this to be pretty much done, this part of it. About 0.5 millimetre I think will be fine. Right, so that's just in that 2 mils taper arbor sleeve that I said I made up. I shortened it up so I can get these things to fit in it, and that's how I held it in the lathe. Shorten the end of the shaft up. Just decided it was probably the easiest way to hang on to the thing. I'm just going to use a square here to square up that cut I just put on there, so I get it at 90 degrees. Get hold of the bloody thing. Beautiful. That'll go together really nice. Alright, so I'll see you back over the bench. We'll put it all together. At this point in the video, I'd like to thank my patrons. This continued support is greatly appreciated. If you'd like to become a patron, there's a link down in the description. You can sign up there and drop me a couple of dollars every month. If you don't want to be a regular contributor, there's always buy me a coffee. Now, let's get back to the build. If you've been enjoying watching me make this, how about doing me a great big favour and giving it a great big thumbs up and smashing that like, because you know it kind of helps me out. Alrighty, so I'm glad I don't have much more to do out here today, because once again it's 38 degrees. I am just sweating profusely. So let's get this fitted back up on here. Oh no, you know, that's alright. down on there, hard down on there. Oh no, that's those two grub screws screwed up nice and tight. Now, there is, oh, what are you doing, dickhead? Didn't go that way, it goes this way. I haven't quite decided yet. That's a, you know, it could be a slightly tighter fitting there than it is. And I haven't yet decided just how I want to retain that. I'm contemplating doing something as simple as going round maybe in 4 spots, put a centre punch mark right close to the edge just to peen it over a little bit, just try and keep it in there easy, or a bit of Loctite on it, or whether I should make up like a little flange that goes on there and bolts down to just stop it popping out. But we'll worry about that later, because at the moment it doesn't really matter. Anyway, that's where we're at. So next week I'll do something about machining up the pieces for the ends here, so that I can set this, figure out where all this goes, and then bore the holes through it, get a shaft made up for it. Now, I said originally that I couldn't get a 16mm thrust bearing, but I bloody found one in my drawer, in my little box of bearings. But I've since lost the ball out of the bloody thing trying to modify it, because this is just under 16mm. So are these bearings, and they just fit on there, and that's all. But this thing won't fit up over it, and I did try to spread the centre of it, and that's how I lost one of the balls. It spread it out, and it just loosened everything. One of the balls fell out and bounced away, and I can't find it. So that's no good to me. So I think I might abandon that. A mate of mine gave me this, well, I think it's bronze bush. I don't think it's brass, I think it's bronze. I think I'll just make up a thin bronze bush to sit on the outside, so that it, you know, when you put a bit of pressure on this, it will just run up against that bronze bush. It's roughly the same size as that, so that should be fine. And then a bearing, the 16mm bearing, I can fit on there. It just depends how hot it is, what temperature of the day is like. Sometimes you picked it up, it'll just slide straight on there, and other times you don't want to go on. It's unbelievable. Oh no, there we go. So it fits on there okay. So we'll get another plate same thickness as this one, and a little bush on one side, machine this into it a bit so there's a shoulder in there, find some way of retaining it. You know, maybe that one there might need a plate to bolt onto it to stop it popping out. And then I've got to cut it off, machine up a piece of this 12mm to fit up the inside of it. It's about 11 the inside of that, so a piece of 12mm inside of that. And the fact that these are nearly 12mm in there, I was going to turn this down to 10mm, but I think I'll just go straight through the guts of that with 12mm. So that will have a 12mm hole all the way through it and fit up on this shaft, mounted up on there. With another plate here and a bearing in the other end. Now I was watching an old cutting edge engineering video the other day, and he was doing something on his Bridgeport copy, and he's got an attachment for horizontal milling, and it suddenly occurred to me I might actually be able to use this for doing that, although instead of it going backwards and forwards this way, it'd have to run up and down the table that way. But yeah, I might be able to use it for doing that, which is not something I originally thought of. So I'd only have to make a carrier for the mount on the table. It has to be height adjustable so we get it all right, and maybe be able to do horizontal milling with this. But anyway, that's it for this week. I'm sort of running out of time. So come back next week and hopefully we'll get it all finished. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.